Hi everyone! In this video I'm going to be talking about the best and worst things in my first rotation of PA school. And today I am just taking an adventure walk at Cerro Gordo National Park. Check this out. So in my case, my first rotation was long-term care, and I was in an internist's office doing outpatient encounters, a lot of follow-ups on chronic conditions, and also some preoperative clearances and some new patients. And it was a perfect first rotation for me for several reasons. So some of the best things about my first rotation were that I got exposed to some really important conditions to know about. Some of our bread and butter conditions like hypothyroidism, hypertension, heart failure, depression, anxiety, IBS, Crohn's disease, what else? A lot of kidney stones and cholecystitis. So I got to know a lot of common conditions really well, how to diagnose them, the exact questions to ask to find out what's going on, and also how to treat them. Also, it was a perfect first rotation for me because I just got a lot of experience. I just got to jump right in and start doing full patient interviews and histories. I got to do, for the pre-op clearances, I did all the patient histories starting from scratch, and I did full exams for those. And I estimate that I got to do interviews and exams on over 200 patients. So that was a really cool first month for me as a PA student. So that brings me to the worst thing about my first rotation, which was learning how to use the EMR. Since I'm a non-traditional student, I didn't have any experience working with an electronic medical record. And so it was quite a learning curve for me the first couple weeks figuring it out. And I do have to admit, I was really disappointed with myself one day because I felt like I had done a really good job at work that day. Like I was starting to open up to my patients, let my personality show through, like joke with them a little bit, and then I was writing my SOAP notes better. And then I asked the doctor, like, what can I improve on today? And he's like, oh, you used the wrong template on the pre-ops. So that was my biggest shame those first couple weeks, that I made that mistake. But after a couple weeks, I really feel like I got it down really well, and I was feeling super comfortable. So I have some advice for those of you starting your first rotation, and that is that give yourself some grace, not just the first day, not just the first week, but for the first 2 weeks. Also, pay really good attention and take really good notes when you're being instructed on how to use the electronic medical record, because it may not seem that complicated, but if it's your first time doing something like that, it is really complicated, and it's so important to get all the details correct. Also, try to go into your rotation without any preconceived notions or without making any conclusions right away. Like, I have to admit, in my first rotation, I was so overwhelmed the first couple days. I just didn't know how I was going to make it through the next 5 weeks. But now that I'm done with that rotation, I actually really miss it. I really miss going to that office every day and getting to interact with those sweet patients. They were such nice people, all of them. And getting to interact with such a wide variety of people and actually be able to give them some health advice that could really help them. And so it was funny because I started out that rotation feeling really overwhelmed, and then by the end of it, I felt so comfortable and confident going into that job. So what about you? Are you a pre-PA student or a PA student? Please comment below. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. I'd love to know like where you're going to school or what your big plans are in healthcare. I would love for this channel to be a community where we can support each other and grow together as future healthcare providers. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Vesper, little hiker.